I'm Pigletic, and here's how I made my game go from this to this, and so much more. Alright, I'm going to quickly explain how to install the settings. If you'd like to stick around, I'll also go over my process in making this pack. Obviously these settings are just my personal preference for the graphical style of Monster Hunter Wilds, so feel free to tweak and modify them however you like. I also want to give credit to the Wilds Rehydrated settings by iSpectre23, since I used some elements from those packs on my own. First things first, you'll need to mod the game. Make sure Reframework and Reshade are installed. Then, download the folder from the link in the description and extract the contents. Move everything into your own Monster Hunter Wilds folder and replace files if necessary. Once you're in the game, open Reshade and select the preset. That's it. Additionally, here are my graphic settings. They're not much, mainly just aimed at increasing the frame rate as much as possible whilst maintaining quality. Adjust them to match your specs. Now, let me explain some parts of the settings and the decisions behind them. Overall, I was mainly inspired by this channel Gorilla and Go, whose gameplay had really smooth graphics and interesting color choices. The first thing I wanted to replicate was a smooth look. Now, I've kinda got a confession to make. I kinda faked this smoothness in my game. Gorilla's videos use motion blur, which I believe comes from the frame blending, running the game at a really high FPS then reducing it down while blending the frames. This creates the motion blur effect and gives a perception of smooth, high FPS gameplay. But Wilds is obviously a pretty demanding game, so I went with a workaround. I used the C-Shade Motion Blurs preset in Reshade instead. It works fine, but sometimes the HUD gets blurred, so if you don't like that, just turn it off. Next up, the colors. I used U-Fake HDR and the Wilds Rehydrated LUT to increase saturation, boost contrast and adjust some colors, since Wilds is naturally quite washed out. I also adjusted the black levels with this Prod 83 shadowed midtones and highlights thing, and mainly to fix the blacks, as in Gorilla's videos they are incredibly dark. However, this doesn't really translate well into very dark areas like the Oil Well Basin or the Ice Shard Cliffs. On top of that, I added a few smaller tweaks like sharpening, which just adds a bit more detail to the armor and close-up shots, and ambient lighting, which gives a nice natural effect depending on the environment. And that's it. Those are my reshade settings for Monster Hunter Wilds. Thank you for watching. I'm still kind of figuring out what kind of videos I want to make for this channel, so you'll probably see a couple random ones here and there, but I really appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys in the future.